Some of you might be wondering about the future of Sonos. Is it still as bright as it used to be back in 2020 and 2021? We don't know, right? Sonos updated the software, the Sonos S2 app, back in May of 2024, and it has been a mess since. They are fixing it, but some of you have lost patience, and you are actually asking for the CEO, Patrick Spence, to be sacked. I mean, come on, you want to fire Patrick Spence and find a new CEO to come in who hopefully will know the problem better to fix it? Who are they going to hire? Me? Well, they're not going to hire me. So holding him accountable is not getting him fired from his job. Holding him accountable is not letting him off the hook and making sure that he stays on to fix the problem. Now, do you really think he needs the money from the job? If I were him, I'd rather have the opportunity to quit now and stay away from the shit that's hitting the fan and spinning all over the room. Now, make him stay on. Man, let that man do his job and fix the problem that he created. What was the problem? So the app was kind of broken since day one, and they were trying to rush it, or at least that's what the theory is. They're trying to rush the software version for the Sonos Ace headphone, which they launched, and the Sonos Ace headphone probably wouldn't have worked on the older Sonos S2 app. So if there's a lesson to be learned here, it is, well, don't rush things. And today we're going to be talking about the new software version that was just released about Tuesday, 4 days ago, 5 days ago by now. And there was a long list of release notes, which usually it is not Sonos. Sonos used to do things like bug fixes and performance enhancements without telling you extra, but this time around they listed everything down. And Patrick Spence himself has penned a letter, well, at least somebody wrote it and he sent it out, or rather, it's supposed to represent what he's saying. And he apologizes for the software and the bugs as well as the functions that were left out of the app. So he's making a personal commitment with a timeline that stretches all the way to October to fix the issues that he is having, or rather everybody else is having. So that makes it his issue, right? So he's gonna fix it. But this software version that we are looking at has many changes. Let's run through it and maybe dissect it up a little bit. So if you look at the version right now, it is at 80.06.04 Android version, and for iOS it's 80.06.03. I cannot keep up with the numbers now. It is become so long and obfuscated. I wonder what the reasons is for why version 80. Anyway, it was released on the 6th of August, and with this update, it has introduced TV audio swap for the Sonos Ace from the Arc, which has been there since day one of the launch, and now extending to the Beam Gen 1 as well as the Beam Gen 2 as well as the Sonos Ray. And this is on Android. So notice the term that they use, they say introduce. So previously it kind of wasn't available for Android, but it was already available for iOS for the Sonos Arc. But now they have added the Sonos Ace TV audio swap to the Beam Gen 1, Beam Gen 2 as well as the Sonos Ray. So that is great. But wait a minute. Where is True Cinema? I had a great experience with True Cinema. I kind of really like that Auto True Play that came with the Sonos Ace, but they have yet to implement it. But again, sorry, Sonos, don't rush it. I'm not rushing you. Make it work, then release it. All right. Next on, we have a downgrade tool that allows you to move from S2 to S1. I don't know who was asking for that. I wasn't asking for that. Did any of you ask for that? Let me know in the comment section down below. Now there's improved smoothness and reduced latency for group volume control on iOS. That should be a hygiene feature. It should have been there. I mean, it's not even a feature. Control volume on speakers. How difficult is that? Well, apparently it is now smoother and it has reduced latency. I don't group my things because my speakers are all in different rooms right now and I don't want to be disturbing anybody else in the room. But if you have that problem, then, well, hopefully it's better and smoother for you with reduced latency. They have also added mute buttons for individual products in group volume controls. Now, think for a minute, why do you need this? Because if you don't want the product to actually sound off in the group, take it out from the group. I mean, I don't know. super flawless. But now on the now playing screen, you can also have group volume control. And wasn't it available? I thought you just control and the whole thing that was playing in the group, the volume will be controlled. There's also now an ability to clear the queue on iOS and improve performance for large queues on iOS. Queue, all right. They still have not gotten round to getting the queue functionality, the sorting, the reordering, and all that. Now they have got the add to end of queue and play now, right now, but it is still not a full queue management functionality, which they promised that it should come September/October. And now on Android, you can forget the system. Well, which means to say previously you could do it on iOS, but you couldn't do it on Android. So Android is no longer that much of a side thought that they are doing. They are focusing on getting Android up to speed as with iOS. Now the next thing is interesting. Improved reliability for speech enhancement and night mode setting. I tried both of these out. I actually do use speech enhancement quite a bit for some movies, but the problem is not so much the reliability. The problem is that the speech enhancement doesn't actually change the sound that much. You don't get the speech coming out at you any clearer when you turn it on. Now, Apple TV has a function for speech enhancement which used to work only for the HomePods, but they have now extended it to any speakers that is connected to the TV via the HDMI EAC port. So that should be interesting when tvOS 18 launches. It's on beta now, so if you're not on beta, you can't try it. So just wait around for tvOS 18. And lastly, improve reliability when starting playback from a playlist on Android. I don't use Android, so I don't know why is it unreliable, but you get improved reliability. So if there's anything that stands out, I will let you know. But right now, I've tested this version of the software. It works, except some of the functionalities may still be lacking. And right now, queue is the thing. The queue management is the missing piece in the whole picture. But what is the good part of this whole debacle? Well, as compared to something that happened, I think about 2 years back when they nerfed the output for the sub when TruePlay is turned on, this is actually nothing. The sound profile, in a good way, is not impacted. So the system still sounds good. You want to see how it sounds? I'll show you how it sounds. So this is a movie that I used. This is a clip from the movie 13 Hours, Secret Soldiers of Benghazi. And I used this to test out my system quite a bit because the bass sounds, they are just great. And you heard it right about. Oh, okay, I didn't time that quite right. But you get what I mean? Okay, it's getting a bit noisy, so I probably have to stop it before I talk further. So Sonos has always given us good sound. So this time round, yes, the software is impacted, but all right, the sound is still good. Now, the other good thing is that at least the trajectory for the enhancements to the software, or rather the fixes and enhancements, they are moving in the right direction. Yes, it takes a bit of time, right? By the time they fix everything by October, I'm not sure whether everything will be fixed, but by October, which is 5 months later, most of the fixes and the functions and the features should have been brought back to the original S2 app. So we don't think that Sonos is going to release the previous version of the S2 app, but you know, I don't know what else they can do to surprise us. Let's just hope that the software will be fixed by October, and based on the trajectory that things are going, it seems that it will be fixed. And this is the promise that Patrick Spence made himself. Now, a few years ago, Patrick Spence actually promised that he was going to release 2 hardware products every year, and he has kept up with his promise, starting with the Sonos Arc Gen 1. Almost slipped my mouth. And right now, today, 2024, they have released the first product, and they're due to release the second product in the coming months. But they said in the open letter, they are going to deprioritize that, and they're going to make sure that they fix the software before they even prioritize the product launch. Product launches are important because that's what brings in revenue. But you know, if you rush things like what they did with the Sonos S2 app and the Sonos Ace headphones, then you know what happens. So don't rush it. Sonos, take your time, right? Break the first promise of not delivering 2 products, but keep your promise of delivering a superb software and an experience that will not be forgotten. Well, actually, the bad experience is also not going to be forgotten, but you know, give us what we need. And just think about it for a minute, right? Patrick Spence wrote an apology from himself, the CEO himself. How many companies, how many large companies do you know where the CEO is willing to step up and admit their faults? Well, Tim Cook didn't do that. Steve Jobs didn't do that. Maybe you can say that Steve and Tim didn't mess up as badly, but this is a pretty big mess up. But they are actually resolving it, spending $20-30 million to resolve this. Actually, I think they probably laid off about 100 of the software engineers. I don't know why they would do that. I thought you want to hold people accountable and just keep making them do their job until everything is fixed. But, well, he has also now promised that he will fix it. And the promise not to deliver 2 products a year is probably not something that people expect you to apologize for if you break that promise. But if you break the software, if you break the product that they are using, they expect an apology letter. And even if both of them require an apology letter, come on, the apology letter for missing a second product update is going to be a lot easier to write than this current letter that you are showing. So has Sonos messed things up before? Yes, they have. I told you about the subwoofer bug that they had when TruePlay was enabled, and that was a couple of years back. The Sonos Arc actually launched with a bug in the hardware itself, well, which they later fixed with software. I don't know how, but basically the base was problematic at launch, and they actually did fix it, and it was after about 3 months. So it's been 3 months since the May release of the S2 app, but they're going to be taking a little bit more time, so they have asked for until October. But besides thinking about what they have messed up before, what have they done right? They released the Sonos Arc. Come on, the Sonos Arc is probably one of the world's best-selling Atmos-capable soundbar there is, and they've released the Sub. The Sub has been for 3 generations performing flawlessly, right? As well as the Sonos 5, probably the best sounding speaker in a box for music. So I cover great things about Sonos. I also cover shit things about Sonos. Now, can this problem with the S2 app be fixed? Yes, absolutely it can be. I'm getting a lot of confidence. Sonos has reached out telling me that they are actually working very hard. Well, they've reached out to everybody anyway, and it is in the open letter. Now, what can Sonos do to please you? I don't know, give you DTS:X for free, or give you a month or 3 months of Apple Music or Spotify or Tidal or whatever, or maybe they could actually extend your warranty, right? Because during the time when the hardware is not working, your warranty timer is still ticking away. So extend the warranty. I don't know, anybody who bought anything from the May of 2024 onwards, or even in the year of 2024, gets another year of warranty. I don't know what else they can do. You guys think about it and let me know in the comment section down below. So the key takeaway for today's video, I guess, the software, yes, you can probably download, well, you have to download it anyway, and how much worse can it get, right? It can only get better, and I recommend you to download all the updates that Sonos has every 2 weeks that is happening from back a couple of months back all the way until October, and you should see improvement. More importantly, I have an idea of what they're going to be launching next, but they did say that they are going to delay that. So we may see the second promised product of 2024 being pushed back a little bit, but hey, you know what? Push it back, right? Don't launch it until you are ready to take our money, and nobody's going to complain that you are taking the money from us. So if you are interested to hear about what I'm thinking will be launched next, check out this video right here, or check out any of my previous video covering the problems of the Sonos S2 app, which may be defunct by now because they should be fixed by now. Or maybe if you watch this video towards the end of the year, no more issue. I'll see you in one of those videos.